Here are 9 things you should be brutally honest about in the job interview. I know, I tell you to zip your lips on a lot of things in job interviews because I don't want you to get rejected. But these 9 things, I've realized that a lot of people don't talk about or disclose in their job interview, and it bites them in the tushy. Be brutally honest about this, my friend. And number 8 is a way that may actually get you more vacation time at your new job. And number 9 is a hugely powerful way to land more job offers, but yet people aren't being honest about it. You're missing out. If you're new here, I'm Madeline Mann. I am a human resources leader and job search strategist who turns job seekers into job shoppers. You may have seen me in Bloomberg, New York Times, ABC News, and more. Subscribe to be reminded to do something good for your career. The first thing we gotta stop lying about in job interviews is being laid off. At this point, if you've gotten through a decade or 2 of your career and you haven't been laid off yet, I'm astonished. How did you dodge those fireballs? I've personally been laid off before and it was completely disorienting and devastating, so my heart goes out to you, and I'll also link a video below of signs that you may be laid off. In this day and age, employers expect you to have a layoff or 2 under your belt, so do not trip. The second thing you've got to stop lying about in the job interview is how good you are at certain languages. If you say you speak conversational Portuguese, you better be prepared for that to be addressed or questioned. I have seen this be an automatic rejection for people in the job interview, because once the interviewer found out this person didn't actually speak Hebrew, he didn't trust anything else this guy said for the rest of the interview. Don't overstate languages. The third thing you should be honest about in the job interview is the reason for your employment gap. Can we all agree that it should not be normal for a human to work continuously for their entire career with no break or hiatus? Normalize taking a break. Mind the gap. And that's the way I want you to see it. If your reason for your gap is something completely human and relatable, like taking care of an aging parent, say that. I also have a free resume class that talks about what details to include and not include on your resume, so I will link that in the description. The fourth thing we have to stop lying about is our education. I know it may be tempting to do so, but my friend, it is so easy to do a background check and catch you in that lie. Do not pull a George Santos, the man who was elected as a New York congressman, but based on a completely fabricated resume. Someone sent him this video. The next thing to stop lying about are your hard skills, especially proficient in Microsoft Office and Excel. Having used Microsoft Office and Excel versus being proficient in them are 2 different things. One of the most embarrassing moments of my life was when I was 19. I was interviewing for this job that I was way underqualified for, but I had this banging cover letter that caught their attention. It was actually a pretty funny cover letter. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do a video on out-of-the-box cover letters. They asked me to this job interview in person, and they asked me, do you know Excel? And I said, I excel at Excel. No, I didn't say that, but I did say yes. They had me scoot my chair up to a nearby computer and started asking me to please do a VLOOKUP and other terms I had never heard of. And I sat there and bumbled around, feeling miserably, until I had to admit I had no idea what language they were speaking. That day, I did learn the true meaning of the word proficient, and I was not it. So be careful with overstating skills that they can test. The 6th thing to be brutally honest about in the interview is what you want. Companies actually love candidates who come in hot with a sincere perspective on what they want in their next role. Know what role you want, why you want it, and if there's anything you're really steering clear of for your next role. What's great is if you state clearly what you want next, companies will often rise to those standards and start trying to sell you on their role. This is a huge part of being a job shopper, and if you're interested in those strategies, I do have a free class that you can watch. I'll link that below. But I can't tell you how many interview debriefs I was a part of where the hiring team wasn't sure about a candidate because that person was completely agreeable the whole time. They would sound like, oh yes, I can do anything. I love everything. I saw 3 other open roles at this company. If this role isn't the right fit, how about one of those? No. When you are more sure about what you want, the company can be more sure that it's the right fit. The 7th thing to be honest about are the dates you've been employed. Those are frequently checked. You don't need to know the exact date, but the month and the year should be accurate. The 8th thing that you should for sure be honest about in your job interview are your upcoming vacations. You should tell the company if you're flying to your sister's wedding next month or already have your Paris vacation booked for this summer. This is because you may feel awkward asking for this time off after you join a new job, and it could even feel a bit unfair or dishonest if you don't disclose it. Also, companies are typically very amenable to you taking this time off if they know about it up front before you sign the offer letter. This is not something you talk about really early, but once you get to the offer stage, talk about it. And the 9th thing you should stop lying about in the job interview is that you're interviewing with other companies. So many job seekers are too nervous to admit that they're talking to other companies because I guess they're afraid of appearing disloyal. What's funny is that thought is actually completely backwards. Companies are interested in candidates who have other interviews instead of none at all. Of course, companies want to hire talent that other companies want because it's an indication that you're a catch, Yogi Berra. Do you walk down a street of restaurants looking for the one that looks the most empty? Maybe if you're in a rush, but not if your focus is to have the highest quality meal. If you do have other interviews, don't hide it. I am rooting for you in this interview. Don't forget to hit a like if you got any value from this video and subscribe. You've got this. Wi-Fi high five.